Branos here for the Coachspeak Index. How's it going, y'all? Week 5, baby. Let's go. I don't know if I've done any recommendations on the podcast yet this season. I did some here and there last year, I know. I got one for you today. It's a great one. It's a film. It's called The Passion of Joan of Arc. This film was released in 1928, and it is so ahead of its time from a filmmaking point of view that if it were released today in 2025, it would still be considered ahead of its time. I was in awe from start to finish. Absolute masterpiece. Immediately vaults into my top 10 films of all time. It is on the Criterion channel. It is also on HBO Max. Do not watch this on your iPad or your iPhone or your Apple Watch. Watch this on as big of a screen as possible. One more recommendation for you, actually, and that's Underdog Fantasy. They are dropping new promos every day in October. I'm gobbling all of them up like a turkey. You know, like a turkey gobbles. That's what I'm doing with these promos. Unlimited 30% profit boosts. Yes, thank you very much. I'll take that. Gimme picks, where you're just giving me a free square, and then I can pair that with something else for 3x. Yeah, okay, sure. You make that deal, I make that deal, okay? Got a QR code here. I always mess this up. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick'em. With that, also have a link in the description for audio listeners. Let's talk a handful of players. Pulling some stuff from the CSI Discord. Got a QR code for that in the top right-hand corner of your screen and in the description as well for the most valuable resource in all of fantasy football. Everybody's literally everybody is saying it, and I appreciate it. All right, let's go to Arizona. This is the big topic of the week. Trey Benson was placed on injured reserve on Wednesday. He will be out a minimum of 4 games. Then on Tuesday, so the day before Benson goes on IR, the Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing was asked whether he sees Amari DiMercato as the type of guy who can take on a 3-down workload if Trey Benson misses time, or would it likely be more of a split? And Petzing said, I feel really good about just about everybody we have in that room. I think all of them can handle the rock. I think they can protect on 3rd down. I think they're dynamic out of the backfield. So it could be any combination of those 3. By the way, very funny to say, I feel really good about just about everybody we have in that room, which is intimating that there's a guy in that room that they don't feel really good about. But on Wednesday, head coach Jonathan Gannon was asked whether he envisions Amari DiMercato taking over the 3-down role, or will it be more of a mix of running backs? And Gannon said, I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. Feel good about Bam Knight and Amari and Michael Carter. I'm sure all 3 of them will play. And Gannon was then asked about Bam Knight. Gannon said there's a reason we kept him. I think he's been working on his game. I think he's a big, strong, explosive guy that can run the rock, so he'll get his touches. Finally, Gannon was asked about Michael Carter, and he said Michael Carter can play football. He's a good football player. I've seen that since we've been here. So what are we supposed to make of all this? Plus that quote from Michael Carter about how he has gone from Scout Player of the Week 1 week to starting the next week. And, maybe it didn't mean anything, but it definitely caught my attention when Jonathan Gannon mentioned Bam Knight's name first when he listed the running backs. And that was in response to a question about Amari DeMarcado, by the way. When Gannon does get asked about Bam Knight, he says that Knight will get his touches. Now, Gannon doesn't say how many touches, so we don't know if it's 2 touches or 10 touches or what, but just the fact that Bam Knight could factor into this backfield makes this even messier than the Amari DeMarcado versus Michael Carter debate that is ongoing right now. The most important thing to remember here is that all 3 of these guys are Jags. They have shown that they just cannot cut it as lead backs. It's a juicy matchup against the Titans this week, yes, but that only takes you so far. If I was forced to play one of these 3 backs this week, it would likely be Amari DeMarcado. He has the best receiving profile of these 3. He was locked into a 3rd down and 2-minute drill role last week with Trey Benson playing on 1st and 2nd downs. I think DeMarcado retains that role and then also gets some 1st and 2nd down work this week. Michael Carter should get a good chunk as well. And then I think Bam Knight probably gets just enough to be annoying for fantasy. And maybe that big, strong guy that Jonathan Gannon was describing gets a goal line touch or 2. And then we will see some major league tilting from everyone who played Amari DeMarcado and from everyone who played Michael Carter. If you're on Underdog and you're doing this touchdown pick'em dog bowl thing every week where you're just picking guys who will score touchdowns, and then whoever has the highest multiplier that hits on the week gets a ticket to Kansas City for that touchdown dog bowl there. Then, Bam Knight, I gotta imagine the multiplier. You know what? I'll just look it up right now. I'll just look it up. I got my phone right here. Let's see if Bam Knight has Donovan Knight. You know what? I don't think he's even up right now. That is how much people are not expecting him to score a touchdown this week. I was going to say that could be like a very sneaky play. We saw a crazy multiplier hit this past week that included like Tommy Tremble and I think Woody Marks maybe. Bam Knight could be a long shot touchdown scorer this week. All right, Houston Texans. Speaking of Woody Marks, head coach D'Amico Ryans said that it was exciting to see Woody Marks show up the way he showed up. Some of the runs he made, making guys miss in the hole, playing physical, being able to get downhill on some of our short yardage runs, and not just catching in the passing game, but also the pass protection. I thought he had a really outstanding game overall for a rookie. For him to step in and play the way that he played, I'm really proud of what he did. He sparked a lot of excitement for us offensively and for our team. It's a lot of exciting plays and big plays for us that we're excited to see how much more he can handle. Wow. So listen to this progression of snap percentages and number of opportunities for Woody Marks in each game this season. 11% of snaps, 3 opportunities in week 1. 27% and 4 opportunities in week 2. 48% and 8 opportunities in week 3. And then 56% of snaps and 22 opportunities in week 4. The Houston Texans have finally gotten around to getting their most talented running back on the field. And this is a situation where the genie is just out of the bottle now. He showed good vision and agility and contact balance, short area burst, all of which are even more important when you're having to run behind a bad offensive line like this. He has also excelled as a pass catcher. He's been very stout in pass protection. Woody Marks has snatched this job from Nick Chubb. He is not giving it back. Kansas City Chiefs, their head coach Andy Reid said in his Week 4 post-game presser that we've been trying to increase some of Brashard Smith's playing time. He's got a lot of talent, so we're working him in at different spots. We're just giving him a little bit at a time as we go. And then the next day, Reid said that Brashard Smith has gotten a little more time in the game the last couple weeks. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy is trying to increase his reps every week and putting him in positions where he can go do some things, and he seems to be handling it good. We are not quite to the point where you can just plug Brashard Smith into your lineup, but we may be getting close, and you should definitely pick him up if he is still on waivers in your league. Not in my league, I know. Smith played a season-high 26% of offensive snaps in Week 4, also saw a season-high 8 opportunities. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt have been running about as impressively as a peg-legged pirate in quicksand. Listen, if I have to watch Kareem Hunt slam into the back of his guard for another 1.5-yard gain, I am going to fucking lose it, man. Just completely lose it. It's ridiculous. It is so awful to watch. I doubt that Brashard Smith takes over this backfield with, some high snap percentage. But if we can get him up to about 40, 50%, and then he's commanding these targets like he did in Week 4, and he starts being used in this Jerick McKinnon role, which, people were talking about and the Chiefs were talking about during the offseason, then that can be really valuable in PPR formats. This guy is a weapon. All right, finally, let's talk about a wide receiver or a couple wide receivers here in Indianapolis. Offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter was asked on Tuesday about whether it feels like Josh Downs needs to be more involved. Cooter said, the targets get spread around, and I think that's a good thing for an offense. These guys all deserve targets. It sort of ebbs and flows as the year goes on. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Josh Downs has a huge game one of these games. He's going to keep working the right way. I have a lot of confidence in that. The targets will kind of go up and down for each guy. And then the very next day, head coach Shane Steichen was asked about Michael Pittman Jr., and he said Michael Pittman Jr. is making a ton of plays for us right now, and we got to continue that. He's just a reliable target that you can always count on. Michael Pittman Jr. has a 24% target share through his first 4 games. Josh Downs is at 15.7%. One of them has been a priority for this offense, and the other has not. And it sounds like Shane Steichen wants to keep operating in this fashion. So a nice outlook for Michael Pittman Jr. Josh Downs is more of a desperation flex play in fantasy. All right, that is going to do it for us this week. Short and sweet. Got to get back to grinding these pressers today. I will see y'all here next week. I will see y'all in the Coachspeak Index Discord, where I put the notes from every head coach, every offensive coordinator, every general manager press conference, and help you get an edge in your league. Sarah, take us out.